The Dershow.
President Trump continues to push every envelope in every possible direction. One of my favorite stories was yesterday at the end of the day, there was a story in the media that President Trump hadn't had a press conference or press availability on that day. My God, that becomes a story that Trump didn't have press accessibility for one day. Imagine if that story had been applied to President Biden or really any other previous presidents. Biden would go months without having any access to the press. But one day goes by. Now, I don't know whether or not Trump spoke today. I haven't been busy. I've been really busy. But to have one day go by or even 2 days go by, President Trump's just been doing everything. You can like it, you can hate it, but you have to admit that every day he does something. He just pushes the envelope. He pushes it on tariffs. Obviously, we're in a tariff war with Canada. I don't understand why. They're our friends and our neighbors. Trump's probably going to end up getting the Liberal Party candidate elected, who had no chance of being elected 2 or 3 months ago. But now, the Liberal Party candidate, this guy Carney, is saying, hey, I'm the anti-Trump candidate, and my opponent, the conservative, he is a Trump guy. So, of course, Canadians are going to vote against Trump, and so they're going to vote against Trump's candidate. What's going on in Gaza? President said, unless the hostages are released, they'll be held to pay. And, Israel is making them pay, cutting off electricity. By the way, has anybody ever heard of a country that provided electricity to enemies that are trying to kill it? This is the most remarkable state of war. You have Hamas attacking Israeli civilians, killing 1,200 of them, hijacking and taking, hostages of 250 of them, murdering, raping, etc. And the complaint is, but Israel's cutting back on electricity and cutting back on food. First of all, Gaza has been crying wolf for years. If you believed everything the Gaza health authorities have said, everybody in Gaza would have been dead 6 months ago from starvation. We don't know of a single case of starvation. There are food stalls. You see them on television. You can get them on Google. They are selling fresh fruits and vegetables and hummus and everything. Nobody is starving. Yeah, they're missing dessert. And they can't watch television as often as they'd like to. But, Gazans can produce their own electricity. You ever hear of solar panels? You can get those. There are plenty of them in Gaza. So, is Israel being smart by cutting off some food and some electricity? I leave that to others. Are they acting lawfully? Well, no other country in the world has ever provided this kind of assistance to its enemies, particularly if you provided oil. It's going to be turned into rocket fuel. We know that. We know that every humanitarian bit of aid that was given to Gaza over the years has been used against Israeli civilians. And so, we're in that situation. But President Trump's pushing the envelope. He's pressing it in every possible way, and that gives rise to condemnation and to support. People, I think, be interesting to know what would happen if there were an election today with the stock market down, with, some problems with the economy, but with the most energetic president we've seen in years and years. Whether he would still win the popular vote today, I don't know the answer to that question. I think if the stock market decline continues for a long period of time and begins to have impact not only on Wall Street, but on Main Street, we're going to see that. As I said the other day, it serves as a kind of check and balance outside of the standard checks and balances that we have. Reality is a check. If you do things and they hurt the average person, that's a check on your electoral fortunes and the electoral fortunes of your party.